One time, one time. Two times, two times. Okay.
Left foot, let's jump. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
It's not a game, it's a rich
Hey guys, and welcome back to Style Over Substance. I believe this is episode 2.
Yeah.
Woohoo! We're back for another installment. How are you, Miranda?
Yeah, not bad. I think like this week, or like the weeks from now on, are starting to feel slower. Yeah, I need to get on with my life, it feels like.
We've hit the 100-day mark in lockdown.
Really?
And yeah, I think it was this week, the official one. And yeah, I kind of can't.
Yeah, we're feeling it.
I can't see how it's going to change, because it feels like they've announced there's a change, but my life hasn't changed.
Really?
So,
I have been out and I have seen people and gone places and stuff. It's gonna change like when bars are opening and whatever. But yeah.
yeah.
So what have you been getting up to this week?
What have I done this week? Funny story. I fell over in a very embarrassing way at my socially distanced gym class. I was running late and
Is that the one in the park?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like running, and it's covered by sort of a giant canopy, giant tent, in case of rain, and it was raining that day. So I was sort of running along and skidded in the grass, and I landed on top of a rowing machine. So that was really enjoyable. And then just like bounced back up and like shrugged it off, but like fully landed on my left boob and was just like touching it, just like,
Oh my God, seriously?
I hope it's okay.
It's not like ruptured or like, I don't know. I don't know what boobs do.
I don't know. Luckily, it's all natural, so hasn't done too much.
Clarify to the listeners that they're natural.
No, I only say that because my sister-in-law has fake boobs, and she was like, that probably would have burst my implant doing something like that. But yeah, so that was really thrilling. So I feel a bit stiff and jilted from that still, which is wonderful. What have you been up to?
Not much. I mean,
the weather's been dire.
The same as always. Like, really, I see my nephew. I saw my sister and my brother, but I see him every week. Yeah, just the same old same. As I've been saying, like, I don't know. I just need to be in a physical office right now. I know that sounds insane for some people, but for me, I've had enough. But I'll probably regret it as soon as we have to go back. And as we go back, it'll be winter, like the shittiest time of the year to go back to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, enough moaning.
Exactly. Enough moaning. Let's crack on with the first section of our fashion story. So what is this week's fashion story for you?
My fashion story is... it's not a story at all, but what's been like taken away in my brain is I think I'm gonna go back to doing my like no clothes shopping.
Ooh.
Like, what do you call it? Ban.
I guess, a shopping ban.
Yeah, specifically for clothes, nothing else in my life. Like, I'm not trying to deprive myself in these trying times, but yeah, just I kind of told you before that I've done it for about 6 months last year, kind of last year running into this year. And so I think I'm going to try it again. I think it's necessary. You know, it's a really good, it's really not only about saving money, but it's really good practice to curb that desire to want things. And yeah, I think it's just really good practice on like willpower, and it redirects your like desires and your thoughts onto like other things and other projects. And I think it's just, yeah, it's necessary for me. Like for people who can't do that like middle way, that in moderation thing. You kind of
Mm.
just have to ban stuff out of your life.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good practice to try do stuff like that. I mean, I would like to, but not right now.
But no. Yeah, but
I
no.
think, but I also am someone that's like, I kind of need like it to be January or something, like, you know, like I am somebody who like,
yeah.
I'm gonna start a project on a Monday, like I'm that person. So
Yeah, you're definitely like a veganuary,
yeah,
or like a dry January.
yeah, did both of those this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do them every year. Or like a resolution or something. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I just have to like start things and not think too much about them. Yeah.
Nice.
What about your fashion story?
So my fashion story is, I think it was this week that the highly anticipated Dior Air Jordans came out, and they sold out so fast. And yeah, they're just like the most popular shoe potentially in the world right now.
To be honest, I'm not really sure why.
Well, I was reading an article just before this, and they think it's a combination of the fact that they were obviously featured in the show, and then they delayed the launch. And during that time, there's been that Netflix documentary about Michael Jordan. So they think maybe it's a combination of Jordan fans and then the highly anticipated Dior fans, and hopefully maybe they've been saving their pretty pennies for it.
But they're like, it's Kim Jones, isn't it? He's the menswear designer for Dior.
He's doing really well at the moment.
He is. Like, I do like his stuff, but when you look at these Jordans, it's not like Dior really added anything particularly new or different to the shoe. It's just really for people who want to collect for the collection's sake.
Which I think are trainer fans, to be honest. I think lots of trainer fans just kind of, it's like with Yeezys, isn't it? That people just want the limited edition shoes, basically.
Yeah. I've just Googled it, and
it's literally just a Dior tip.
Saying, yeah, it is. StockX website is saying they're trying to. I mean, Google has a nerve because they've listed them. They've listed them for £11,000, 263. Oh, yeah, £263, and Google has the nerve to say price drop. Like, the price has gone down from something, so almost 11.5 grand.
Yeah, people are reselling them for crazy numbers right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You can't even, like, when you calculate the price per wear, like, you're never gonna
it's never gonna be a pound. I feel like you want everything, it needs to equal a pound. Yeah, especially like they're trainers at the end of the day. Like,
I know. Oh god. Anyway, they should have come out with like at least a black version so it doesn't get too dirty. White is a bit
but isn't that a whole statement thing? I feel like,
like when you keep the tags on, everything looks box fresh.
Like the white trainer, I feel like that's almost like a kind of, is it a statement, or it's kind of like a status thing? That's what I think I mean. That, you know, like I remember when we were at school, no one wanted to wear their shoes when they were really bright white. It looked really lame, didn't it? You kind of wanted your trainers to get a few scuffs. But I feel like now, especially more for men, it's a thing of like, you want your trainers to look pristine for the rest of time. I
mean, for 11 grand they better.
Well, exactly. But you can't exactly throw them in the wash either. By the way, the 11 grand is the resale price. I don't think it's the RRP. Well, I know it's not the RRP.
But it's like, the only reason why they can take the piss like that is because because you probably can't get them anywhere else. Anyway, this week's topic, it's not going to be a story time. We thought we'd actually see what the world of fashion is doing and actually discuss something and kind of put our 2 cents in it. So we were just like kind of caught off guard a little bit about the fact supposedly brands like Dior, Burberry and Fendi are planning to do September fashion shows, putting them on live physical shows with guests. I don't really know to what extent they're going to have like clientele come and be part of the crowd. But yeah, I mean, there was so much talk about, you know, the physical fashion show is possibly dead. But they were like, no, bitch, we're back. What's your thoughts?
So my first thoughts are, of course it's going ahead. Fashion waits for no man. What pandemic? Like, I know that's kind of the mentality. And I still follow places that I've worked for and previous bosses on social media, and I know that they still think they're designing collections. Like, of course they live in this little fantasy land. But part of me is like, we had the perfect opportunity to change and update the fashion game. So I think I remember once reading, and forgive me if this is now wrong or inflation has changed this, whatever, I think it's on average £1 million to put on a fashion show.
Yeah. And that's not really surprising. Like, it's a lot of money, but £1 million is not a lot when you consider Chanel, Dior, the sorts of like money they make.
That will be higher for sure.
And exactly. And then you think about, like, if you take it down to reality a bit, how much money people put into like weddings.
Yeah.
Just like for normal people. So if you're going to put on a show that's going to be plastered all over, international, people flying in from here, there, everywhere, you're gifting people stuff, you're inviting people places, you're putting them in your gear as well. Like, all those people who sit in the front row are wearing your stuff. That money easily tallies up.
And even just the logistics of if you're not showing in the country that you work in. So that's been the case of a few places where I've worked, where a whole team has to fly to Paris or wherever. Or not fly necessarily, but you know what I mean, locate themselves and be in a hotel and la 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 la. Like, it's a big ordeal. It's a big.
Do you
ordeal.
remember like 3 years ago, I think it was, when Chanel had their resort collection in Cuba? I mean like
I mean, don't even get me started on all these PR trips that Instagrammers go on with brands at the moment to like the Maldives or whatever, and you're just like, hang on, how is this appropriate to the new mascara that you're launching?
But then that kind of what you've said has really made me think about another point, that before influencers, obviously we had celebrities, but really a lot of these shows is a chance to invite their top spenders, make them feel fancy, make them feel, you know, part of the club, them getting first dibs. Obviously you have buyers at these shows as well for like department stores and whatnot, but like resort collections are for their ride or die clients.
It's an exclusivity. That is how the fashion show originated. Like a couture show or whatever used to be a brand invited ladies who wanted to shop there or did shop there, and you're rewarding them for that loyalty or customerdom, if that's a word.
Their custom.
It's
just custom. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, the article that I was reading, it was saying that although, you know, it's nice for us to think that we're going to come out of this pandemic as better people who, you know, are more sustainable and like environmentally conscious and all that, having a digital show does not produce the amount of content that having people at a physical show does. Like, everyone who's going to attend is going to be taking pictures, like Instagram stories, uploading videos, making so much content surrounding each and every show that this is just free PR. For not free as such, but it's really cost-effective PR. I mean, when it's like Fashion Week, it's plastered all over the place. You can't escape images of these looks and commentators talking about the runway looks and the set and everything and who's walking the show and all that. And that's just not what you get when the show goes digital.
Yeah,
No?
exactly. Yeah, it's a really difficult one, and I totally sympathize with the timing of it. It's kind of near lessening of rules, but we are still in a situation where social distancing is meant to be in place, and I think that maybe that's possible with the guests, sure, but I've worked backstage at many a fashion weeks, and there is absolutely no way that you could carry out a safe social distancing backstage. First of all, the models don't dress themselves. So
Yeah.
that's obstacle one in terms of social distancing. They need their hair and their makeup, which obviously you could get done with masks and all of that stuff. And I guess you
Masks
could
and
do
gloves, I
all of
guess.
that with masks and gloves, even the dressing. But what's the point? Like, and a lot of these things are so fine. That's why you normally dress people, is the stuff is normally super delicate. A lot of it's had really quick amendments, so maybe like the quality is not for somebody else to be dealing with. But also, I don't know if you've ever dressed a model. They don't understand how to put on clothes.
Oh, you're gonna get so much backlash from models now.
Well, the amount of times I've had to put socks on a model where I think you can put a sock on yourself, and they just give you a limp foot to put their sock on, and you're just like, I could do this for like a kiddie. I can't do this for like a 6-foot lady. No shame, models, but it's normally also you've had a hand in creating what's being put on, and they're maybe not sure the right way around it has to go or whatever. But
you
I
have
feel
to style the look, of course.
And I feel logistically it's not probably the safest thing to be putting on a show. But also I think fashion has the power to go, you know what, this year's fashion week is going to be in October, or let's just wait a little bit longer for it to be slightly safer so that they can get the best out of it.
I think, I mean, like the hardest hit countries initially, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like obviously Italy, and then
Europe,
kind of like,
other than China,
in Europe I mean, and then like France kind of bore the brunt of it before we started really feeling it. And I think that because they were able to come out of lockdown before us, maybe they're feeling like more confident that by September things will be more chill, and they can go ahead with these things. But I mean, like, was it like Gucci and YSL were like, deuces, like, we don't need fashion shows, we don't need the scheduling, we're just gonna like lead by our creative juices, and like not isn't it like Azadine Alaya is like famous just like putting on a show when he feels like it.
I mean, I think it will take a little while maybe for people to think of different versions of doing it to have the same social media sort of outlet that a show does have. But also logistically, most companies in fashion have furloughed their staff. Maybe they have unfurloughed staff recently if they are putting on a show. I know my previous company has, and so I know one of my a girl who still works there is now working 12-hour days to make up for all the time sort of lost on furlough, which isn't fair, because also this is still remotely. Like, that means 12 hours of just working out of like your bedroom or your living room. Like, that's pretty terrible. Like,
that's
normally
intense,
normally the only saving grace of working late is the solidarity you have of other people working around you.
That's true.
Or getting dinner paid for, or whatever it might be.
And they pay for your taxi home or something.
Some slight little perks. But and obviously now there's not really even the excuse that you've got somewhere to go or like whatever. But that's also not okay. Like, famously, the creative director shouted before the show in like February, March time that coronavirus is not gonna ruin my fashion show. And so I imagine
But
that's
it's like,
her
it's
saying,
funny
"No,
because
thank you."
like, who's going out in her clothes now? No one.
Yeah, I
But
know.
then, yeah, I mean, we could argue that there could be like a two-tiered system where those buyers and merchandisers who need to see things at a certain schedule for them to order and really plan their sales and plan their business need to see these collections at kind of regular intermittent way. But for us, you know, the rest of us, we'll
Yeah.
just take whatever lands on the website. We'll just see it then, you know. But
And also
yeah,
we live, yes, we do have 4 seasons, but I don't think it's as dramatic as other places. I mean, famously, the UK hasn't got the best weather. And actually we've had a pretty good summer and it's only just started to be July. So like it's been really hot at times. But equally on the flip side, we've just had a week where it's not been cold, but it's been like grey and miserable. So we kind of need all seasons like clothing
we
all
need
year
that
round.
autumn winter collection all year round.
I mean, yeah, summer is less important for us. So yeah, I guess. But yeah, I think it's a way of just moving forward, like how we were saying at the beginning of this episode, that we want life to kind of start moving again. I think the only way that obviously that will feel like a thing is if the entire world is picking back up. So I guess there's something really cool about it in that regard, that they're just kind of gonna, you know, as Bojo has said, we need to start like, you know, moving
Start
forward.
Britain up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose so. I understand why they've done it, but as you said, like, we could have really taken this as an opportunity to rethink the way we buy things. Like, so like you've already said that in England, pretty much it's autumn, winter all year round. It's like a slightly warmer autumn, but people do go on holiday, and that's what they buy for. And that's not just exclusive to luxury market. I mean, everyone does it. Everyone buys this whole new wardrobe for their 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
And that's part of the excitement and prep for their
And the
holiday.
experience. Yeah.
Exactly. But then, no way to like get on my high horse. I do feel like we've reached peak stuff. That's like my phrase of saying, like, do we need any more shit? And do we need to be buying so often? Because really, like, in theory, we talk about like luxury in theory should be better quality, and so therefore we can hang on to stuff longer and wear them more and use them more. So maybe it's time that some of these luxury brands play into more of that. Like, this is something you're going to have forever. You know how like watchmakers do, like, you pass on this item through generation to generation. Maybe they need to play on that idea more, like, buy us and your price per wear is gonna be £1 at some point. But and like really pivot into this idea of we're heritage because we last such a long time. But then I guess, like, why do that if you make a lot of money just flogging stuff all year round
Flogging a new
constantly?
color of something or
Yeah.
slightly amended style. But I wonder how much money they do actually make off of, you know, those pieces. Yeah, I really wonder. I don't know. I'd be really interested to see like what bells and whistles all of the shows have. If they're all going to be like a white wall, and you know, and also like, is it going to be the collection you started designing before this happened, or is it going to have an influence of this? Because actually, traditionally and famously, like, fashion responds to politics. It responds to the news. It responds to life. So I'd be interested to see that. But also, I think it would look super reckless if there are these big sets, if there is this just really like flamboyant sort of like disregard for the fact that let's be honest, they'll be in debt and not doing as well, but also like nobody's doing as well. So I wonder if how that will be, because I was reading about how obviously certain shops, now that they're open, they're like very happy to see a lot of places that don't have an online presence are really happy to see that their sales have gone up or are higher than they maybe expected during this time. But that doesn't salvage the damage that's been done. So yeah, I'll be very interested to see what happens.
I mean, I'm not opposed to them coming back with really extravagant shows. I mean, I could argue the case that yes, fashion does respond to the climate that we're in, but at the same time, it's a level of fantasy, and it's like what we've spoken about,
Escapism.
kind of not on the podcast as such, but in general, escapism and better days are ahead, and you know, I'll see you on the beach next time we can like get on a plane sort of thing.
I would love to see
what will we
full color, like, you know, like how my
exactly
is to not wear black or whatever, like all color, or just like some I like that point.
I think the way they can like really redeem themselves is it's in the detail. It's making sure that, you know, people have the protective equipment and all that stuff, and they're really going out their way to keep people safe. But on the flip side, like maybe they can spend some money and really back a lot of charities, you know, like homeless shelters, people who have been out on the street during coronavirus, like really support people who are maybe like struggling at this time, who are less fortunate. We've had Pride this month, we've had Black Lives Matter, and really going out of their way to right the wrongs that they've been part of and contributed to. And like we've talked about, you know, their workers in these factories and stuff. If they came out with this extravagant show, but they came out in a way where they were like, you know what, over the past couple months we've learned something about ourselves, and we're trash, really. And we pledge to really support communities and like projects that are gonna like really make a difference. I think that's the way forward, even if they want to stick to their like 6 collections a year.
No, definitely. And also, like, I think what's important as well, and has been really topical during coronavirus, well, and just in recent months, is that like it's one thing making a black screen on your Instagram, it's one thing having a token plus size model in a show, like, but there's actually another thing of like fulfilling what comes after that or comes with it, not just doing it for the show, not just having like a variety of ethnicities just to tick a box. It's important that like you push
you know who's gonna have that. Exactly. You know who's going to have like a field day coming back is Maria Grazia. She is going to have logo tees and and mottos all over them t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag key workers on her t-shirt, you know. It's going to be like mayhem at Dior.
Oh my gosh. All the prints will be made up of like thank you letters or something.
Oh my god, you're giving her ideas. They're like handwritten
copyright
like...
here.
Embroidered into Christian Dior's favorite factory while the flowers from his garden it's just gonna be crazy. Like she's gonna milk it.
I hope so. I hope we see some really cool creativity come out of this. But also, like you said, it'd be nice for them to kind of update the classics and update the timeless pieces that can be carried forward, rather than just basically provide the inspiration for fast fashion. It'd be cool to use this as a way to almost like kill fast fashion. Sorry websites, but it'd be cool to see if they could try and make fashion a bit more classic in some ways. But let's be honest, fast fashion's kind of probably here to stay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as much as I like, as much as I shit on fast fashion, I'm part of the problem as well.
Yeah.
Like, I buy
Why
fast,
buy one
fast
thing
fashion,
when
both of
you
us
can
do.
buy 10 for the same price as
Yeah,
one?
I know.
It's
It's like,
variety.
yeah, and you can like buy the same thing in a different size, but like you buy the 8 first, and you order that directly to your house, and you're like, but it's free delivery, so let me just order another size in the same color. Let me just like decide if I want to keep it or not. And yeah, it's madness. So if you could like change one thing or see one thing in September in these fashion shows, what would it be?
I think it would be, looking forward, I think it would be the aspect of, okay, that happened. Yeah, it hasn't been a great time, but like, we want to like show you what's coming on the horizon. I think fashion is an escapism for a lot of people. I think it's really important for a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong, I've worked in fashion, so like I don't put it on like a little pedestal, but a lot of people who haven't necessarily worked in it or still do, like it is their thing. It's what they look forward to. They get their kicks out of seeing what is in the show, and I think it'd be really, really cool to see. Like, that's where we're going. Like, forget this time, this too will pass. Like, this is what we want. Like, and kind of a bit of a celebration, because hopefully it's around the time where we're coming out of it as well. What about you?
Yeah. I don't know. I want to see exciting things, excitement, color, vibrancy. But yeah, as I said, I would just like to see some real effort from like luxury designers, to be honest, all kinds of brands, from like the top to the bottom, to really like think about how much they're paying their workers, people in factories across the globe, how they like race and gender and equality and things. I think right now we're just in an era where it's about
Stepping up.
Like, yeah.
And actually,
And that would
like,
be nice to see, but don't get me wrong, I want to see all that glamour and all that nonsense. I
yeah,
want
but
to see
I
it.
think that's the thing, and I think it became a thing around the 90s, where you either stood up for political causes and that was your cause, and it didn't fuse with fashion. You either had that white t-shirt that said your slogan, or you had the glamorous collection. But there's no reason the two can't be combined in a very clever way. Like, there is no reason. And also, like, the brands that do step up for the causes, like, it'll be a huge moment. It's super fashionable, it's super on trend, if like causes can be on trend, if you know what I mean. Like, it will be really celebrated, so it would actually be really good for their marketing in a really boring way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it can be like seen as pandering almost, but you know what, if they're putting their money where their mouth is, then it's sweet enough for,
as long as they're not doing it for the marketing. Yeah, what's your question? Fire away.
Yeah, but they all are. So come September, if you could be invited to about 3 shows, which are the ones that you're gonna take your face mask and your gloves and your hand sanitizer and trot on down to?
That's a good question.
Okay, the first one is Chanel. Like, let's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm always gonna say Chanel. Then I would say, this is really tricky. Maybe I would say Dior, but I prefer Dior men's, so that's tricky. But yeah, maybe Dior, just because I think they are really being playful at the moment. I think at a time where Chanel's probably playfulness is going to die down a little bit without Carl being there, I think it will take a while for this lady to find her feet and her playful tone. Dior are really kicking off with playfulness and like playing on the brand's kind of classics, so that will be great. And then I probably would want to see like a more independent, maybe like London-based designer, but I don't have a name of anybody. But yeah, I'd kind of want somebody who, maybe it's someone's first collection, you know, like somebody who's launching, not that I think many people would be, but like if they were, you know, like someone's first,
I don't know.
I know, but you know what I mean, like if someone, it was like their first collection, you're like, wow, okay, what are you showing us right now? Maybe something like that. But just to warn the public, I am a classic brand lover. I'm not very like inventive. I do like my classic brands. So soz, guys. What three shows are you taking all your PPE to?
all my hazmat suit.
The annoying thing is, Miranda would look really cool in a hazmat suit. She'd really pull that off.
Oh my god!
I would look like a Ghostbuster. Whereas you would look like you're styling it out.
Oh my god, thanks. Maybe that's going to be a trend: face masks and hazmat suits, disguised as a jumpsuit. Yeah, so okay, the shows that I want to go to, I don't know if they're going to have a show like they did last year, but I know that L'Enfant is going through like a whole rebranding, and I keep getting their like sponsored posts on Instagram, and I actually really like the stuff that I've seen from them. Cool. So I think it would be nice to see where they take it and what they come out with. Then I think another brand that I'd be interested in, I do really like Loewe.
Yeah.
So maybe that. And oh, you know what? But I really like Valentino, but then I haven't said any British brands, so I'm sorry. But yeah, you know, Valentino is always going to give us a bit of color. That's what I need. And Loewe always gives me a bit of like bohemian, Barcelona, sunshine. And I need a holiday. So yeah, those are my shows. Nice. I mean, Chanel, yeah. Like, Chanel would be nice, but I think, yeah, those are my choices. Got anything else?
I'm just really actually looking forward to seeing them all now. I've got in the mood to like, you know, like peruse Vogue.com.
Yeah.
Are they even shown on Vogue anymore? Yeah,
yeah,
no, I
they
think
are.
they are.
Yeah, they've got cool pictures, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if Vogue survives this pandemic, because Lord knows everyone's like either leaving or
I think the Condé Nast group is really struggling. Is Vogue part of that?
Yeah, but I think they were having a tough time before. Yeah, it is.
I think because it's got old traditions and they're not great at like responding to the times, whereas kind of like you have to at this point. But yeah. But I did really like what Vogue did with key workers on the cover, British Vogue.
Oh yeah, that looks really good.
That was really beautiful photography. And you know what it reminds me of? And it reminds me of 13 Going on 30, where she designs the magazine with real women in it. And
it's such a cliche idea, isn't it? It's like,
it's really
we the people.
Cliche, like, oh, we want to see ourselves on the cover of magazines, us real folk.
Yeah.
But like the reality
but I mean, it was good because the photography was nice. The photography was actually beautiful. So,
and the people were beautiful. Like that's also the difference. But like, I don't want to see Karen from down the street on the cover of Vogue. You know, like I don't care. Like
I loved it.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying,
as cheesy as it was,
we don't. You there's a limit, isn't there? Like, you know, it's nice as a one-off, but you don't always just want to see sort of like maybe that kind of a thing.
I don't know.
It was cool. It was cool to kind of give a nod to them. But yeah.
So this was the end of our second episode. Bit of a chit chat about the fashion shows and if they're still going to go ahead and what they're going to look like. So yeah.
If you guys have any thoughts on September Fashion Week and have any intel on who's showing and who's not, please either hit us up on Instagram we are at Style Over Substance Pod on Instagram, or you can email us at styleoversubstancepea@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts.
Leave us a 5-star review. We need to get
it's all about the 5.
It's not about the 4. It's not about the 3.
I mean, what kind of review would you leave, Chanel? You leave us the same one.
Oh no, don't, because people are going to drag Chanel.
But yeah, we're only here for the 5s. But yeah, it's been fun, and we hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Follow us, DM us, email us with your questions, your stories, your input. We'd definitely be up for kind of reading them aloud, and kind of having a discussion with you guys as well. So again, yeah, thanks for listening. I've been Mim.
And I've been Scarlett. Have a good day. Toots.
See ya.
Bye.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.